Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. In this video, I'm going to be telling you all the reasons I hate my rabbit colony. So, these reasons, I have quite a few of them, but I'm not going to do them in any specific order. They're kind of just random. So yeah. So, one of the reasons I really don't like my rabbit colony is because of the likelihood of coccidiosis. That's where they poop and pee, and they get parasites, like parasite overload, and in their livers, and it can kill them really fast. And you have to do stuff to prevent that. And if you have them in cages, you don't have to do that. But if you have them in colonies, that's one extra step you have to do, and one extra thing you have to worry about. So I don't really like that about colonies at all. This next reason is more of a personal thing for my rabbitry, so it might not be the same thing for if you have a colony, but for us, in our barn, these rabbits are in a barn, as you can probably tell, we have a lot of mice in here, and sort of recently they moved in, and also just recently, all our rabbits we've been dealing with fur mites, and that's not really fun. So for us, the colony equals mice, and the mice, we think it's because like the mice moved in and then they started getting mites, so we think it's the mice who caused it. So we're having to prevent against that, and that is another reason I don't like my rabbit colony, is because of the fur mites. Another reason I don't like my rabbit colony, well, I fixed this problem, but for a long time I had the water bowls on the ground, like right on the ground, and the bedding would get all in the water, so I'd have to switch it all the time, and it was really gross and super nasty and really a pain. But now I have it on top of that shelf thing, but for a while I didn't have that shelf, so I just had it on the ground, and it was a hassle. So that was not really fun at all, and pretty bad. So I did not like that at all. Another reason I don't like a rabbit colony is because if you go in there with bare feet or socks, the bedding sticks so bad to your socks, and then you put them back in your shoes, and your shoes are all gross. And so that is definitely one thing I don't like about colonies at all. Another reason you might not want to have a rabbit colony is because of all the bunny proofing you have to do. With cages, they basically, like, rabbits can't get out, like, ever. But with a colony, you have to, like, usually you custom build it. And there are so many cracks and crevices and, like, places where especially baby bunnies can squeeze through. Rabbits can dig, and they can, like, chew through wood, and they can just do all this stuff that's really a hassle to work through. So bunny proofing it is quite a hassle, and sometimes you have to do it through trial and error. I've had several baby bunnies escape, and then you have to fix that problem. So it's kind of really not fun. Another reason you may not want a colony is because of the bedding you have to buy. In the cages, you don't really need bedding, but for a colony, at least for my colony, and I think most colonies do use bedding of some kind, whether it be shavings or straw or whatever. I prefer wood or paper shavings or wood chips or something, but you have to buy all those. I mean, we get our shavings for free. They're not actually like wood shavings, but they kind of like are the same thing. But if you can't find them for free, then you have to buy it, and so that's another expense for rabbits that I don't like. Another con about rabbit colonies is that you have to free feed all the rabbits. Even if you have not pregnant does, or if your buck is in your colony, they're going to get as much food as they want because you have to free feed babies and the big mamas. Another thing that goes along with having rabbit bedding is the fact that you have to stay on top of cleaning it and making it smell okay. Bedding is awesome because the carbon and the nitrogen go really well together. So the carbon and nitrogen smells, and that's the poop and the pee, and the carbon is the bedding, so it counteracts the smell. But if you let it go too long, it starts to smell, so you have to add more or clean it out. So you do have to stay on top of that, and that is something that is not really fun to do. Another big thing that people don't like about rabbit colonies, especially if you keep your buck in your colony, you don't know who was bred when. So for us, the does get bred whenever they want, and sometimes they like don't want to get bred for weeks, and sometimes they do like the day after they give birth. So we have no idea when anyone is going to give birth. We have several pregnant does, and then they look so fat. I'm like, any day, for weeks. I've been thinking any day of babies, and there's been none. It's like these will be the first litters of the fall, so I haven't had babies in months, and I'm so excited, but I don't know when they're gonna have babies. So I've been hoping and checking several times a day for weeks. So that is not fun. Another big reason people don't like rabbit colonies is because you will have a harder time telling whose kids are whose. So we have several colors of mamas in here, so we can do an okay job. Like Pepper is the only spotted rabbit in here, so any spotted babies are probably going to be Peppers, and Selah is the only Harlequin in here, so probably all the Harlequin babies will be Selahs. But then we're going to have a ton of like black babies or blue babies and like white babies or whatever, so we'll have no idea whose babies are whose. So if you're like they're pedigreed or you're trying to, if they're like selling them, it's gonna be really hard to tell whose are whose babies. And another reason people don't like rabbit colonies is because they are harder to catch the rabbits. In a cage, you just open the door and grab the rabbit, but in a colony, you have to like wait till they're preoccupied and approach them. And if they run away, you have to like wait and pretend you're not trying to catch them, and then all of a sudden grab them. And then if you're catching like a lot of rabbits, and like the last few will know what you're doing, and it'll be really hard to catch them. Now we pet our breeders all the time, and we hold the babies, so it's not as of much of a problem for us. But if you didn't want to hold your babies twice a day every day, then that might be a really big problem for you. So those are the reasons I don't like my rabbits in a colony. There might be more. These are just all I could think of. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did like this video, make sure to check out the video I did right before this. This is like a 2-part series type thing. It's why I love my rabbit colony, so you can decide better if you want a colony or not. Or, yeah. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!